Louis, I need you to help me understand something that has me absolutely flummoxed. We got a college quarterback, not Mahomes, not Josh Allen, not Lamar Jackson. A college quarterback who just crashed Nike's servers faster than a Beyonce concert ticket drop.
Steven, when you called me about this Shedeur Sanders situation, I thought you were exaggerating. Then I did my homework. This young man just rewrote the playbook on athlete branding, and he hasn't thrown a single NFL pass yet.
Exactly. So stick around because we're about to break down how Shedeur Sanders, yes, Coach Prime's son, just turned the entire sports marketing world upside down with nothing but a logo and some serious swagger. Welcome back to the NFL Report. I'm Stephen A. Smith alongside my colleague Louis Riddick, and we are diving deep into what I'm calling the Shedeur Sanders phenomenon. Louis, break this down for our viewers who might have missed this cultural earthquake.
Steven, here's what happened. Nike partners with Shedeur Sanders for a logo release. Within 1 hour, their servers crashed from traffic. Within 72 hours, this young man's merchandise outsold what established NFL veterans move in an entire quarter. We're talking about a seismic shift in how we think about athlete marketing.
But Louis, this is what has me heated. This young man is still in college. He's playing for Colorado under his father's coaching. He hasn't been drafted, hasn't signed a professional contract, and hasn't thrown a touchdown in the NFL. And yet he's moving merchandise like he's Tom Brady in his prime.
And that's exactly why this matters, Steven. What Shedeur has done is tap into something that traditional sports marketing has been missing: authentic cultural connection. This isn't about stats on a field. This is about building a brand that speaks directly to Gen Z and younger millennials in their language.
Explain that to me, because I'm from a different generation. When I was coming up, you earned your stripes on the field first, then the endorsements followed. What's different here?
Steven, the game has changed completely. Today's young consumers don't just want athletic performance, they want personality, authenticity, and cultural relevance. Shedeur's social media isn't some polished corporate machine. It's him in car rides, pregame moments, and family interactions. It feels real because it is real.
But hold on. Are we saying that being relatable on Instagram is more valuable than being elite on the football field? Because that concerns me, Louis.
No, Steven, and that's a great point. But here's what's brilliant about what Shedeur is doing. He's not choosing between performance and personality. He's excelling at both. The kid can play football, and he understands how to build a brand. That combination is incredibly rare.
All right, let's talk about this logo that broke the internet. What made it so special?
Look at this design. It's an SS crown logo that carries multiple layers of symbolism. It's giving royalty, legacy, and next generation domination. But here's the key. It doesn't scream at you. It speaks fluently in the visual language that young people understand. It's sophisticated enough for high fashion, clean enough for streetwear, and iconic enough to potentially sit alongside the Jumpman logo one day.
I'll give you that. It's clean. But Louis, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Some people are saying this young man is too flashy, too focused on branding, not humble enough. What's your response to that criticism?
Steven, we've heard this song before. When Allen Iverson wore a do-rag to press conferences, people clutched their pearls. When Cam Newton celebrated touchdowns with style, people said he wasn't humble enough. There's always been discomfort in sports when young black athletes show confidence and swagger.
That's a fair point, but
let me finish this thought, Steven. Shedeur isn't asking for permission to be himself. He's not being disrespectful to opponents or coaches. He's building a brand while excelling academically and athletically. If that makes some people uncomfortable, that says more about them than it does about him.
You know what, Louis? You're absolutely right about that. And let's talk about the business side because the numbers are staggering. Nike had to reroute their entire supply chain overnight. They pulled resources from other athlete campaigns. Factory schedules were adjusted, all because of one 21-year-old's logo drop.
And that's what makes this so significant, Steven. This wasn't just a successful product launch. This was a cultural moment that forced a multi-billion-dollar corporation to completely pivot their strategy in real time. When's the last time we saw that happen?
Never. And what's even crazier is the resale market. People are flipping his hoodies for 4 to 6 times the retail price. Some sneakerheads are calling this the next Yeezy moment. Are they crazy or are they onto something?
They might be onto something, Steven, because what Shedeur has created isn't just merchandise, it's cultural currency. When you wear his gear, you're not just supporting an athlete, you're buying into an identity, a movement, and a feeling of being part of something bigger.
But here's my concern, Louis. How sustainable is this? We've seen hype cycles before. What happens if Shedeur hits a rough patch? What if he gets injured? What if the next drop doesn't break records?
That's the million-dollar question, Stephen. Hype burns bright but fast. The danger in becoming a phenomenon is that people start expecting fireworks every time. But here's why I'm optimistic about Shedeur's longevity. He's shown incredible awareness and calculation in how he handles his brand.
Explain that, Louis.
Watch his interviews, Stephen. He gives fans just enough to stay engaged without oversharing. He handles criticism by letting his performance speak while staying focused on his goals. He's playing both the on-field and off-field games at an elite level. That kind of awareness is rare for someone his age.
And let's not forget the Coach Prime factor. Shedeur Sanders has been rewriting the playbook for college football marketing. The camera crews, the viral locker room speeches, the social media presence, this whole Colorado program has become must-see TV.
Absolutely. What we're witnessing is a father-son brand-building dynasty in real time. Dion has essentially handed Shedeur the blueprint and said, now take it to the next level. And that's exactly what he's doing.
But Louis, let's talk about the competition. How are other brands responding to this?
Stephen, there are reportedly panic attacks happening at Adidas, Puma, and Under Armour headquarters right now. They missed it. They blinked, and now they're chasing shadows. One anonymous source described this as a cultural reset. And honestly, that's not dramatic. That's accurate.
So what's Nike's strategy moving forward?
They're not just riding this wave, Stephen. They're building an entire ecosystem around it. Rumors of future sneaker lines, high-end fashion collaborations, and even potential media partnerships. They're positioning Shedeur not just as an athlete, but as a cultural bridge between old-school athleticism and new-school influence.
And that's smart business. But let me ask you this. What does this mean for other young athletes watching this unfold?
This is the blueprint, Stephen. Shedeur has shown that you don't have to wait for a league or a brand to define your value. You can be the business, the brand, the moment right now. He's inspiring a generation of athletes to think beyond just performance statistics.
But there's a flip side to that coin, Louis. What about the athletes who focus so much on building their brand that they forget to develop their actual skills?
That's a valid concern, Stephen. But Shedeur is the perfect example of how to do both. He's not sacrificing his development as a quarterback to build his brand. He's using his platform to enhance both simultaneously. That's the key distinction.
Let's talk about the cultural impact. You mentioned this is bigger than sports. Explain that.
Stephen, what Shedeur has done is prove that in 2025, relevance beats resume. Cultural capital is just as valuable as athletic capital. He's not just part of the conversation, he is the conversation. And that's incredibly powerful in today's media landscape.
And the timing couldn't be better. With NIL deals allowing college athletes to monetize their brands, Shedeur is showing everyone how it's done at the highest level.
Exactly. He's the prototype for the modern athlete, someone who can win on the field and win over digital audiences, someone who sells performance and personality. That's the future of sports marketing.
But Louis, let's keep it real. There are going to be copycats. Every brand is going to try to find their own Shedeur Sanders. Will that work?
Stephen, lightning like this doesn't strike twice on command. You can't manufacture this kind of authentic cultural connection. Shedeur walked into a perfect storm: generational charisma, social fluency, athletic talent, impeccable timing, and the Coach Prime legacy. That's not a formula you can replicate.
So what's next for Shedeur? Where does he go from here?
If I'm advising him, I'm telling him to stay the course. Keep winning games, keep engaging authentically with fans, and keep building the brand without losing sight of the ultimate goal: NFL success. Because if he can translate this cultural heat into professional success, we're looking at a generational icon.
And if he doesn't?
Then he'll still have built something unprecedented. But I don't think that's going to be an issue, Stephen. This young man has shown too much awareness, too much talent, too much vision to flame out now.
Before we wrap up, let's talk about the broader implications. What does the Shedeur Sanders effect mean for the future of sports marketing?
Stephen, we're entering an era where being good at your sport is just table stakes. If you want to be a brand, you have to be culturally literate. You have to know how to go viral without looking like you're trying. You have to speak in memes, moments, and music cues. And most importantly, you have to feel real.
That's a fundamental shift from how we used to think about athlete endorsements.
Completely. It's no longer about having a clean-cut spokesperson reading from a script. It's about having a cultural translator who can authentically connect with audiences across multiple platforms while maintaining their athletic excellence.
Louis, as we wrap this up, I have to ask, are we witnessing the birth of a new model for athlete branding, or is this just a really successful marketing moment?
Stephen, I think we're witnessing both. This is definitely a successful marketing moment, but it's also a blueprint that's going to influence how athletes approach brand building for years to come. Shedeur hasn't just dropped a logo, he's opened a door to a new way of thinking about athletic influence.
And that door leads where?
To a future where athletes don't just play their sport, they curate culture, influence trends, and build movements. Where success is measured not just in wins and losses, but in cultural impact and authentic connection with fans.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Shedeur Sanders effect, a college quarterback who crashed Nike's servers, redefined athlete branding, and showed us all what the future of sports marketing looks like. Whether you love it or hate it, you can't ignore it.
And honestly, Stephen, we're probably just getting started. If Shedeur can do this as a college player, imagine what happens when he hits the NFL.
Now, that's a conversation for another day. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the age of social media and cultural influence, sometimes the most important game isn't played on the field. It's played in the hearts and minds of the fans. We'll see you next time.